Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I have this Vampy makeup look for you. I wanted to bring you something dark, very fall, very winter, but also very easy and simple at the same time. So I'm going to be showing you with the eyeshadow that I'm using very minimal shadow. I'm using a lot of shadow to make it dark, but I'm using just a few colors, not too complicated, and just like a simplified Vampy makeup look. So I'm starting off by using the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, and I'm taking the shade Milk Chocolate as my transition shade, and I'm running this through my crease, and I'm really building that up. And we are going to be building up the dark shades on top of each other all over the lid, so I'm also just going to be blending that all over the lid as well and making sure that is nice and blended with a bigger Wet n Wild fluffy brush. And of course, moving on to the other eye, we're going to be doing the same exact steps, just blending the Milk Chocolate shade into my crease, kind of all over the lid, and then taking a bigger, fluffier brush to kind of blend everything out and make it look nice and diffused. Also, I really hope that the lighting is okay in this video. When I was filming it, I was having a lot of trouble with my lighting, but I tried to color correct it and brighten it as best as I could. But I asked on Twitter, and a lot of you guys said you still wanted to see the look despite the lighting and everything like that. So I hope it's okay with you guys. But right now, I'm taking that same shade that I originally took, the Milk Chocolate shade, and I'm just buffing that all over the lid. You guys know when I do a dark look, I always like to start off lighter and then go darker. So I'm just laying down the lightest brown first so everything blends nicer on top. Here I'm taking the shade Semi-Sweet, which is just a little bit of a darker brown, and I'm buffing this all over the lid again. I'm pretty much going to be focusing, as the shade gets darker, I'm going to be focusing it only on the lid and closer to my lash line, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to be careful and not take any of the deeper shades up into my crease too much, just focusing them on my lid near my lower lash line. After those browns are all blended out, I'm going to be taking the look a step darker, and I'm going to be going into the darkest brown shade in the palette. I believe this is called Espresso, but I'm not exactly sure. I'm taking this on that same Morphe M433 that I've pretty much been using the whole look. I also wanted to keep it pretty minimal with the brushes as well, and I'm just running this along my lower lash line on my lid. Like I said, I'm trying to concentrate the darkest color there, so when it gets a little higher, it's more of a gradient. We have more of that warm transition. I just think it adds a lot of depth and definition to the eye look. Here I'm going to be taking the light white cream shade in the palette and just using this on a large shader brush to highlight underneath my brow bone. And as always, you guys know me, we're going to be doing even more blending. I'm just going to make sure that everything is blended out where the brow bone highlight meets the transition shade, just so we don't have any harsh lines and we have more of a nice gradient. And of course, we always want the bottom of our eye to kind of match the depth and heaviness on the top. I think when you do a dark look, it's really important to smoke out the lower lash line too, just to even everything out. So I'm pretty much just taking all the brown shades mixed together and really doing it pretty heavy on the lower lash line. Like I said, just to make sure everything looks nice and even and to add a little bit more smokiness and sultriness and vampiness to the look. For my inner corners for this look, I didn't want anything super metallic or really stark, harsh white, so I decided to go in with Marzipan from the Chocolate Bar palette. It's a really gorgeous champagne shade that I think complemented the look really well, but it has such a nice sheen to it. It's not completely matte, it's not completely metallic, it's definitely a nice in-between, and I think it brought a lot of life to the look without being really overbearing. And as always, I just went off camera to do my mascara. This is the Essence Lash Princess. And moving on to the face, I'm first going to be bronzing using my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer on my Wet n Wild powder brush, just bronzing where I normally bronze. You guys know my cheeks, the sides of my face, and a little bit on the tops of my forehead, just to add a lot of life and color back into the face. For my blush, you guys already know I'm going to be using the Benefit Box Blush in the shade Dallas. I don't need to say anything more about this blush. You guys know this is like the only blush that I use, and I really wanted to build it up and make it like nice and dark and mauve-y on my cheeks, and I thought it really complemented this look really well. Up next, we're going to be contouring with the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Palette. I feel like I haven't pulled this palette out in a minute, so I figured it was definitely time to use it. And I thought it was perfect with this look because since we do have more of an intense look going on, I knew this palette was really intense, really pigmented, and would give me a super strong contour to kind of match what we have going on the face and the eyes already. So you guys know how I contour. I just like to go in the hollows of my cheeks and the sides of my face to really structure everything and to slim everything down. And moving on to my favorite part, which is highlighter. First, I'm going to lay down a base for my highlight, and I'm going to be using the ColourPop Super Shock Highlighter in the shade Lunch Money. And then once that's all laid down, I'm going to top it off with the Jeffree Star Cosmetics and Manny MUA collab in Eclipse. This is one of the skin frosts that they did together, and it's more of a icy peach is what I like to call it, and I just thought it looked really nice with the dark browns on the eyes and just kind of made the look pop a little bit more and added a little bit of life so everything isn't super dark and super drab, if you guys know what I mean. And then of course, to bring a little bit more of a glow and to melt all the powders into my skin, I'm going to be spraying my face with some Fix Plus. And to finish off the look, I'm going to be using the ColourPop Ultra Satin Lip in the shade Tulips. It's definitely very vampy and definitely one of the more unique shades that I've tried. I think it's like a mix of a purple, a brown, and a burgundy. It's just like all the deep shades you could think of kind of meshed into one, and it's really gorgeous for this time of year. So like I said, that is going to finish this makeup look. I really hope that you guys enjoyed seeing this vampy look for the winter. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed before you leave because I'd love to have you guys here. And also, if you hit that little notification bell, you guys will get directly notified every time I upload a future video. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and of course, I will see you guys in my next one.